host, Dr. Lachelle Weemy, a peak performance coach and business strategist dedicated to helping you see what's possible within you, the blind spots that are holding you back, and the solutions to ensure success and fulfillment without the hustle. I use my secret sauce of metaphysics, brain science, and scripture to work with God to manifest your ideal life and business. If you're ready to create massive forward momentum in your business and bust through the blocks that drag you down, join me on the Spiral Up journey and create the clarity, confidence, and consistency to become the CEO that lives your life by design. It's time to create the sustainable impact, income, and time freedom you desire faster. Now is the time to spiral up. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Spiral Up podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Lachelle Weemy, and I am so excited to be able to introduce you guys to one of my very, very best business besties, Courtney Keonig. You guys are absolutely going to love her. She is a phenom when it comes to all things human design. Courtney, it is so much fun having you here.
Thank you so much, Lachelle, for having me on. I always get so excited for the times that we get to hang out, and see each other. It's just a blast.
I know. I wish we weren't across the country, but we at least get to talk, and we get to see each other soon. So that's all good. I want to give you guys a little bit of background here because Courtney and I have known each other for a couple of years. We were both in a coaching program together that we had invested, a substantial amount of money actually, because we were ready to really level up. And so that's how I knew she was really serious about her business because, you wouldn't be in this program if you weren't. And we totally hit it off. And the two of us had the privilege about a year ago to both go to Cabo together. It was a super intimate group of people. And when she was, with me during that week, you guys, she just blew my mind. She has this beautiful soul, this calm presence, and this intuition that just makes you want to tap into it yourself. And honestly, Courtney, that's what you did for me. I learned about your program. I became one of your students, really tapped into my knowledge of human design. And when it came time for me to invite experts into my Spiral Up program, like you were at the top of the list because I'm like, my students need to know more about this and how to leverage this particular tool. And what I love about it, you guys, I don't know if you are familiar with human design, but it's different than some of the other personality tests that I use. And I use a plethora of them because I want to understand my clients really well. But human design is the unique one because it does not change with your nurture. It does not change with the experiences that you have in your life. It is literally based upon the moment and location of your birth. And so that's what I love about it, Courtney, is that you helped me to understand like who I am to the core and what makes me stand out, what makes me special, and how to really tap in and utilize and leverage those things. And instead of feeling like, oh, well, that's just the way I am. Like, you're like, no, Lachelle, like this is a beautiful gift that you have. And you helped me to see that when we were spending our time in Cabo and over the course of your course that I'm like, oh my God, I need you in my life more. So
yeah. And I love human design for that reason, because we're totally both into this brain science, right?
yeah.
And what the brain does is it's always trying to find loopholes, it's trying to keep us safe. It's trying to keep us, in our lane, whatever that is, and, what human design does is it's based on a fact, right? We can't really like play around with, we're born in a certain time or place and a location. And that's all the data that goes into forming your chart. And so when you get the chart and you get that information, automatically your brain is not trying to find loopholes to work around these gifts. It's not trying to be like, well, I know you took that test and you were tired or you weren't on your own, but anyway, it's like, yeah, this is you. And so when we say, this is me, and we stand in that power and we embrace those gifts, it helps us to have this forward momentum of spiraling up, of reaching exactly where we're supposed to reach to, and we don't get in the way anymore.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It's like, I gotta tell you that I am somebody that is recognizing more and more the older I get, the more that I've stepped out into my own journey, that I am somebody who does not like to be in boxes. Like, do not put me in a box. Do not put me on a label. Do not tell me that I have to do something a certain way. And you have really given me that permission to just trust myself and trust my intuition. And one of the things that I'll just say that has been most, transformational with my
Mhm.
journey and your help with my journey is my journey of writing my book, right? And you know this story, and I'm just going to make sure that you guys all hear this, that, Courtney, with our time in Cabo, really helped me to understand my human design chart and really understanding that as a generator, I am motivated, I am driven, I get shit done, right? But it's
Yes.
really
Yeah, you do.
um it's really, fun for me to get into flow and then to allow that to just be expressed. And I had been wanting to write a book for years, 4 years, let me tell you, right? And around this time when we got together in Cabo, like I knew that I wanted to write something soon and it was starting to kind of percolate inside of me, but nothing had ever really felt like pressing enough to just do it, right? And I think part of it is because of the box that I was trying to place myself in. Like people will tell you, all you need to do is get up, an hour earlier each day for a year or 6 months and just like slowly work on it, 100 words a day, blah, blah, blah. That made me want to throw up. Like that sounded miserable to me. But what sounded good to me was just freaking knocking it out. And you gave me that permission to be
Yeah.
me while we were in Cabo. I'm like, oh my God, that's who I am. And you're like, yeah. And that's what I can leverage. You're like, absolutely, like leverage that creative flow. We got home. I completely took everything off my calendar. I canceled all of my appointments, cleared my calendar, and I got up every morning at 5 a.m. and I wrote until 9 o'clock at night. And I knocked my book out in 6 days. 6 days.
Gosh.
Right? And it's like
That's
it would have otherwise taken me years doing it the way that other people have told me to do it or that it felt right to other people.
mm,
You help me to just know who I am at my core and give myself permission to just like do the damn thing. And I was able to knock it out and it felt right. I was able to get into flow. I was able to allow the downloads to come and it turned out better than what I could have ever imagined. And I just want to thank you for that. And so when I have people that come into my sphere of influence, my Spiral Up program,
mm.
it's like one of the things that I love to have them do is connect with you. And I know my clients love you too because
Yes.
they have gone on to work with you. So that's always such a testament, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And the other thing that you've really helped me to do is to trust my intuition by showing me where my energy
Mm,
centers are. You've helped me to acknowledge that yes, as you mentioned, I love brain science. I love all of the things with neuroplasticity and all the things, but there is something to be said about allowing for my intuition, my higher self, God, to guide me in the next aligned action. And
mhm.
when I've been able to say like, okay, Lachelle, you have this gift, you know what it's like to feel that, tune into it, and then I can teach other people to do it. That has made all the difference
Yeah.
in my coaching because I don't come into my coaching calls and my strategy sessions telling people what they need to do. I get to help them discover where God is leaning them. And then I get to support them through that. So every call is a complete different like experience. And I not only am trusting my intuition and my downloads that I can give my clients, which is always fun. Like, hey, I don't know where this is coming from, but I need to tell you this. And they're like, oh my gosh, I have goosebumps. That comes from you giving me permission to trust my inner
Mhm.
guidance and my intuition, my downloads, right? And then I get to help other people do that. And so I don't know where I would be in my business if it wasn't for you.
Oh my gosh. I feel the same about you. I mean, literally, like, what you're doing is just embodying this insane, intense alignment for you. You know, this alignment that is this like spiraling up in motion. I think that's the best gift that we can give to our clients is
Yes,
doing the work on ourselves and actually doing the processes. And that's what
that
you've done. And no wonder you have a best-selling book. You have your second retreat in Costa Rica coming up. Like it's all these things that you have blazed the trail for other people, so it's not as hard for them to see what their trail is. And
right.
in business, it's not about like doing what everybody else is doing. It's doing what's personal to them. And that's why I love your program so much is because it's like this personal journey, like what is meant for each individual person. And you give them the time
Yeah.
and you give them your soul for that. And what a great gift that is, you are meant to lead and you're meant to shine through other people as you cheerlead them through their tough experiences, which can what is launching a business and getting it up and growing and
Yes.
huge is, but you have the magical power to be able to not only reach your tough goals, but to help everybody else reach their tough goals as well. And to link arms together. And I think that's what I love seeing you do is like this beautiful collaborative experience with your clients and with other partners.
Yeah.
That is just so beautiful.
It's so much fun. And, for those of you guys who are not really all that familiar with my signature program, Spiral Up, that Courtney is a part of, basically what I do is I work with clients, and then the people at the highest tier of Spiral Up get a chance to meet with these various experts with my program. And so I essentially get to diagnose and prescribe. So I'm like, hey, based on a conversation, I really think that you should meet with Courtney this month for your expert credit. And they get to meet with Courtney, and it's just really fun because I get to customize somebody's journey with that. And Courtney, I would love for you to know, and for everybody to hear from you, what are some of the ways that you yourself or the clients that you've
Mhm.
helped have started to spiral down? Because the whole point of the Spiral Up podcast is to maintain forward momentum in business and in life, right?
Yeah.
And it's really easy for us to get sucked down into the downward spiral by so many things. And I mean, I could give you guys a list 100 miles long of the ways that I've been, impacted by that. But I would love, Courtney, for you to kind of tell us a little bit about your own journey of when you've been tempted or started to spiral down, or maybe some of your clients
Mhm.
have, and then how you've been able to use human design to shift things around and to bring yourself back into the spiral up forward momentum.
Yeah. Well, a lot of what happens when people are spiraling down is they're feeling stressed and anxious, right?
Yep.
And that stress and anxiousness doesn't help us at all, right? A lot of times we're like, oh, well, I have this deadline or I want to push, I want to get this going. But honestly, when we come from a place of peace,
Hmm.
when we come from a place of this empowerment and alignment, that's what gives us that forward motion
Yes.
even more. That's
Yes.
what really takes it to the next level. Stress and anxiety do nothing for us. They don't help us at all. But the fuel of peace and the fuel of power really does take us to the next level. And it gets us there a lot faster, too.
Yes. Yes.
It gives us permission to do things our way. I always
Mhm.
tell my clients too, I'm like, I kind of want you to put on blinders. I want you to
Yes.
be like, okay, everybody's doing all these different things, and then that can be very overwhelming. But I'm like, put on blinders
Mhm.
because you're going to do things your way. And
Yes.
actually, that's going to give you more success. That's going to
Yes.
give you more clients. That's going to give you more happiness and momentum in your business than
Yes.
anything else. And, you
Yes.
know,
Gosh, like
yeah.
so much. And that's one of the things that I love about you is like these blinders, because comparing
Yeah.
ourselves to others, what other people are doing, what's working for others, what others are perceived to having success, and we perceive that we're
Yeah.
not. All of those things have been known to cause me to start to, spiral down. And one of the things that I love about you is you help us to leverage who we are at our innermost soul, like from the moment we were
Yeah.
born, and to be able to know and trust our unique path. And that allows
Yeah.
things to come easy. If I am trying to do everything the way Courtney does it, or everything the
Yeah.
way that, Amy Porterfield does it, I am going to be constantly pushing up against resistance because they're not my journey.
Mm.
But you've helped me to really guide myself down to my inspired steps. And I tell my clients all the time that we're not always meant to have the full picture. We're meant to trust the next
Yeah.
aligned, inspired action. And then the next inspired action will be able to present itself. And so, what you're doing is you're helping us get into tune with how to go with our unique next aligned action. And one of the things that you mentioned too that I think that is kind of funny, was having dinner with a friend of mine who's another nurse anesthetist, and
Oh,
she's contemplating leaving her full-time career and doing some things to go off in her business. And I've been there, I've done that, and so I was kind of mentoring her through it. And I was telling her, like, yeah, girl, and I block off an hour every single day to rest and maybe even take a nap. And she's like, that is the life. I'm like, I know, because I'm a generator and I go, 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 I do. But you know what? You've
Mm,
taught me that I need to listen to
yeah.
my body. And if that means
Mhm.
spending 30 minutes to recharge myself, then I'm dang it gonna do it. And so it's so funny because she looked at my life like I have the best life ever if I can schedule in a nap every day. And I'm like, hell yeah, I can, and
Yes.
but I get so much done because you've helped me to
Yeah.
know that that's just my unique journey. And there's no guilt and shame around that. It's just leveraging
Yeah.
who I am and what makes me work the most efficient and effective. And I think that's another gift with human design is uh, and you guys that are listening, and Courtney, like the human, the ability for us to think thoughts that create feelings, right? And how our feelings
Yes.
have vibration attached to it, right?
Mhm.
And feelings and thoughts that are associated with guilt and shame will drop us down the lower vibrational levels of the emotional vibrational scale. That's
Yeah.
further away from the life we want, guys. And
Yeah.
so when we think about a life that we would love, the freedom, the passion, the gratitude, that is in the upward spiral of the life that we want. That's in the frequencies of the life we want. And when you've helped me to just like be okay with and own and be proud of just the way that I am and get in sync with me, I stay away from those guilt and shame things of the boxes that I've tried to put myself in for so many years.
Yeah, and that just tears us down. And
Mhm.
all those like we look in like in the personal development world, we want to look
Yeah.
at like targeting those negative thoughts over and over and over again. Those
Yes.
negative thoughts are sabotaging characters in our lives. And so
Mhm.
when we target those negative thoughts and we back it up with proof of, well, my human design tells me I'm really good at communication. I'm really good at like standing sparkling in the spotlight. Those like concrete things. We have action around like, well, if I have that gift, what would I do in my business to lean into that even more?
Mhm.
And I love asking that question of my clients, of my chart to myself,
Yeah.
because it helps me to have that intentional action and create magic within my business and momentum in my business.
Yes. Oh my gosh, totally. And that's one of the things for you is that I know because of conversations that we've had and me being a part
Yeah.
of your program that shining in the spotlight is one of your gifts. And I think that some of the ways that we can easily spiral down is by
Mm.
allowing the shiny objects or the squirrels to prevent us from getting into like this aligned action with where we're meant to shine. And what happens is that we like think, oh, well, that person's doing that. So I'm gonna try that. Oh, that sounds good. And then we become so scattered, we become so overwhelmed that we never make any actual progress. We don't work things to the point where we can see results. We give up and we start something new too fast. And when you're able to recognize through human design some of the gifts that you were born with, it helps you to stay in the lane that you're meant to be on versus squirreling all over the place. And a lot of people come to me with just this need for clarity. Lachelle, I don't know what the next steps are. Lachelle, I don't know what my purpose is, my passion is. And using things like human design can really help with that. Can you expand upon that at all?
Yeah, it just really allows us to have that momentum. There's so many, when in human design, we can look at like our type, which is our gifts and what we bring to the table. And we can expand on those gifts and lean into those gifts instead of saying, well, I should be like someone else. I should do something. I should do it like this way. Even when people tell us, oh, this is what worked for me, it doesn't necessarily going to work for us as well.
Right.
So we
Yeah.
have to have that back and forth with our, like, does
Mhm.
this feel right to me? And we can
Yeah.
listen to our bodies. And those are the great gauge that can help us to be on the path that we're meant to be on.
Yeah.
And again, this path is all about spiraling up, It's all
Mhm.
about going up and up and up and really creating a journey that has momentum with that.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So like I know that you and I could talk about this all day long and I always learn something from you. every single time that we get together. And so if you guys are wanting to know more about your human design, if you're curious, like I said, I use lots of different tools. I use tools like strength finders, I use tools like Enneagram and disc. Those are all amazing tools to help me help people see trends and themes in their lives. But human design is something that is so unique and such a perfect piece of the puzzle, because it, again, it's tied to when and where you were born, not what you've learned and how you've adapted because of your life experiences. And so if you are curious about your own human design or want to know more, or you would love to be able to leverage the knowledge to help other people, to help your clients, you are absolutely going to want to get in touch with Courtney. Courtney, why don't you tell us a little bit about the program that you are currently launching that people might be interested in?
Yes. So it is the velocity method, and it's my personal development gold standard of within this industry that I've been a part of for the last 20 years. And I have this methodology is with human design. It really dives deep into like each person's human designs and what gifts they have to bring to the table. Oftentimes in human design, it's like, oh, let's do this and this, but it's no concrete action, but I give you action oriented things. And then we look at positive intelligence and other self mastery tools that help us shift into this velocity that is our way. So I only open this 2 times a year because it's a very special program. And we get to do group coaching and really see all these beautiful clients make huge leaps and bounds, double their revenue, expand their businesses even more. It's all for coaches and healers looking to expand.
I love that. And if you are one of my Spiral Up students currently and you're listening to this podcast episode and you're like, oh my gosh, I have not used my expert credit and I want to meet with Courtney, like make sure that you get that done, because all of my students get a chance to pick which experts they meet with. And it's so much fun to get a chance to have you be one of my amazing experts. So Courtney, thank you so much. I will make sure that we have all of the ways that we can connect with you and the training that you're doing and all the ways that people can, follow you and connect with you in the show notes. And is there anything else that you wanted to mention? Otherwise, we're just going to call it a day. And I cannot wait to see where this velocity training takes people that are signing up.
Oh, thank you, Lachelle, for having me. It's been amazing. I love you so much.
Okay, bye. See you later.
So much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. Each honest review helps me spiral up so that I can serve you even better. Whether you're feeling a lack of impact, income, or time freedom, or perhaps you're just ready for massive momentum in your business, let's chat. Apply for a breakthrough call so that you can gain clarity, identify what's holding you back, and make a plan to spiral up. Head on over to im-lifebydesign.com/breakthrough or access the link in the show notes. For immediate support, log into our community, the Better Club. We focus on inspiration, tactical guidance, and support. This is a community that wants to be better, do better, and have better in life and in business, and we're going to help you do the same. Let's spiral up, friends.